Assalamualaikum, Dr. Adlina. Hai, Dr. Haslina.
Yes, Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Amelia.
I will moderate the session for today. Hopefully everything will be smooth, Doctor.
InsyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
Okay. Now, 9 already. Shall we proceed with the sessions, Dr. Ainun?
Boleh insyaAllah.
Right. Okay. We may start our session for this morning now. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and salam sejahtera to all the International Islamic University Malaysia IIUM communities. The respected Dean of Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman, Kuliah of Islamic Review Knowledge and Human Sciences, AHAS KIRKHS, yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman, to our respected speaker for today, Associate Professor Dr. Adlina Haji Arifins, our deputies, directors, head of departments, academics, administrators, professors, doctors, brothers, sisters, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this morning? I hope that all of you are doing great. Okay. Before we start the program, let us show our gratitude and praise to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala that we can meet and gather today in a very beautiful morning. Okay, with that, let us recite Surah Al-Fatihah. Okay, Amin. Right. I would like, first of all, I would like to extend my appreciations to the head of research, AHAS KIRKHS, Dr. Ainun Azmin Muhammad Zamin, for organizing the today FRGS clinic programs and giving me an opportunity for me to be in here today. My name is Emilia Yuliana Abdul Wahab. Inshallah, I will moderate this morning sessions. Right. We start our program with the opening remark by our respected Associate Professor Dr. Haslina Ibrahim, the Deputy Dean for Postgraduate and Responsible Research, AHAS KIRKHS. Dr. Haslina?
Yes, yes.
The opening
Should I
remark.
start now? Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Dr. Amelia, the moderator for this session, Dr. Ainul Azimin, the organizer, Dr. Adlina Arifin, Associate Professor Dr. Adlina Arifin, my friend. I remember I used to invite you when I was a head of SLU, and since then I know that you are the right person to help us guiding the students, the graduate students, as well as researchers, the researchers, and I am so delighted and honored that you have accepted the invitation from Dr. Ainul to share your inputs with our researchers. Thank you so much. I think this is not for the first time, and of course, inshallah, after this, more and more to come lah from you, inshallah, Dr. Adlina. And everybody lah, members, researchers from the kuliah, thank you very much for joining this session despite I know that this is very sensitive time to everybody. Yeah, we are all worried about, marking, grading, and we hope to get some time to do our writing when we are in the semester break. But inshallah, I believe that our program today in the morning and the afternoon will be will be of use to help us in trying to prepare or trying to write down our proposal, not only for the FRGS but inshallah other types of proposal. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think I forgot to greet everyone. Okay, so I'm doing the formality here on behalf of the Dean to greet and to welcome everybody. But I think all who are here today choose to be here to know how to make things better, how to conceptualize our proposal that can attract how do we call them, the assessors, our evaluators. But I think most importantly, as academic, as researcher, I think why we do research, not only because we are thinking of our KPIs, not only that we are thinking about our promotion or our position, but I think most importantly because this is how I look at research, and our role as academics, because we have obligation to the society. What type of obligation that we have to the society? Educate the society in various forms lah, in our research, in our publication. If we have research, then definitely we will have publications. In our teaching, that is the most important thing, in our teaching. So we do not have to rely upon the yellow book, kitab kuning, that we use for 10 years teaching our students. So our student graduated in 2010 and 2020 will have the same material to refer to. Tak nak macam tu, because we want to enhance, we want to update our teaching materials. We want also to make impact to the society. Now that we are talking about community engagement, what does that mean? We want to make impact to the society, and we hope that through our research we can make impact to our society, in such a way that we help them with our specialization. And also research can help to develop our scholarship, our leadership, our visibility. We sometimes there is a need for us to tell people what we are doing, why we are doing, why this is needed, why and this is why we do research. And also doing research, especially FRGS, gives us lots of opportunity to get involved in interdisciplinary research, intradisciplinary research, transdisciplinary research. So we can work together with academics from different departments, different kuliahs, and different universities. So as you go along, you will find that your profession as academic has meanings. It gives meanings to you. Instead of you clock in, clock out, and doing the routine thing, semester in, semester out. That would be a very dry and dull way of pursuing our career as academics. And what's more, in this university, we are talking about our role as murabbi. So yes, we have greater responsibilities, and we are very lucky that we have friends, academics, who are here to help us. Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Adrina, and this afternoon we have external expert to assist us. Now on the part of the kuliah, myself and Dr. Aino, we welcome your opinion and your inputs. Should you need any kind of inputs or skills for research purpose, for teaching purpose, whatever, please let us know, because we do not want to organize program that is short sendiri. We hope that whatever we are organizing will benefit you and will help to sharpen, to enhance your credibility in your area of expertise and enhance your scholarship. And bear in mind, in the university, we cannot prosper or we cannot do things alone. We work together for the good of the department, for the good of the kuliah, for the good of the university. There is no such thing as working in silo, in research, in publication, in teaching, so on and so forth. What's more, we are talking about community service. So this is the aspiration of the kuliah. And I believe that this aspiration is not foreign to you, and you can embrace this aspiration, because we have been talking about ummah and ummah. So we need to do this together. It's more than our promotion. It's more than our what you call that, our material pursuit and gain. But this is for the ummah, for the humankind, and this sejahtera aspiration that have been the mantra of the day. Yeah. So I thank you everyone for spending your time. Thank you again to Associate Professor Dr. Adrina. Thank you, Dr. Aino, for making this program. This is an extension of the previous FRGS clinic, I believe. And for your kind information, why I encourage this program to be conducted, because I remember when I first cut the FRGS, it was the outcome of such a program. Yeah. So I was very lucky that time I got giants to assist me to develop my proposal. So I believe we need a close hands-on program like this. So I think that's about it. It's just to as I said just now, formality. Otherwise, I would prefer that we go straight away to Dr. Adlina, because I believe everybody else is looking forward to listen from Dr. Adlina. Thank you again, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. I am so sad I may have to leave for a while because there is another program with Triple IT, and the Dean is at the Senate Hall. So, I have to shift to another program. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much to our respected Associate Professor Dr. Haslina Ibrahim for a very precise opening remark for these sessions. Right, thank you so much, Dr. Haslina. Okay, without further delays, allow me to briefly introduce the background of our respected speaker for today's. She is the Associate Professor Dr. Adelina Haji Arifins, currently holding a post as Deputy Director for Grants Management Unit, IIUM Research Management Center. I believe IIUM is close to her, as she spent more than 20 years holding various academics and administrative positions in this garden of knowledge and virtues. Okay, Dr. Adrina received bachelor's and master degrees in teaching English as a second language, TESOL, from University Malaya, and obtained Doctor of Philosophies in Education from IIUMs. As I mentioned earlier, throughout her more than 20 years in service, Dr. Adlina has held many administrative positions. Among the positions include as the Deputy Dean's Research and Academic Qualities at the Center for Postgraduate Studies, IIUM. At the same time, she also held the post of Deputy Chairman for the EMDPS committees responsible for the administrations of the database of foreign university under the Ministry of Higher Education, MOHE, and Malaysian Dean of Graduate Studies Councils. She also involved in a research collaborations project, Kajian Pembangunan Pelan Hala Tujus Pengajian Siswazah Malaysia from 2016 to 2025, which aimed to produce an education's blueprint for postgraduate studies in Malaysia. Dr. Adlina has published in numerous journals, conference proceedings, and also book chapters. She also has vast experience in teaching courses related with languages and linguistics at the Departments of English Language and Literatures, AHAS, KIR, KHS. Her research interests are applied linguistics, pragmatic, sociolinguistics, and English for specific purpose. Okay, currently Dr. Adlina holding a post as Deputy Director in Grant Management Unit, IIUM Research Management Center. Okay, as we going to have knowledge sharing with Dr. Azlina about the research proposal, right? Research is a long journey. It's a distance, right, between the ideas and its realizations, right? No research without action, and no action without a research. However, conducting a research, right, it will incur some expenses. That's the reason securing and having a research grant is much important, right, for everyone, especially those in the academic. But wait, before that, to obtain the research grant, the research need to produce an attractive research proposal to win the heart and the mind of the grant providers. Of course, securing a research grant is not an easy task. So it starts from the idea of what area of research that we want to explore, right? Why we want to explore the area of research and how. Starting with the research ideas, Our respected speakers for today, Associate Professor Dr. Adlina Haji Arifin, will share her experience and probably share useful tips on today interesting topics, from ideas to paper, crafting a persuasive research proposal. Right, the floor is yours now, Dr. Adlina. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you, Dr. Amelia Juliana, for the very kind words about me. I think maybe I have to update my biodata. Okay. Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Haslina Ibrahim, my long time friend. Okay, we have been engaging with one another since many years back. Thank you for inviting me, and of course Dr. Ainul Azmin, my dear colleague at the department, and also the HOR of KIR-KHS. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think when she approached me some time back, like a few months back, if I'm not mistaken, I was honored. I was looking forward, believe it or not. Okay, I was looking forward to share basically to share my experiences, to share this little knowledge that I have. Okay, I want to share it with my dear colleagues here, my esteemed colleagues, and I can see in the list of participants that Alhamdulillah, we don't only have friends or colleagues from KIR-KHS, but it's all over the university. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for joining me today. Inshallah, I will try my very best this morning to share everything that I know, everything that I have within the time given to me. All right, sharing with you experiences of securing grants. Okay, well, to be honest with you, getting grants, I mean, competitive grants, I'm talking about competitive grants, getting competitive grants, it's not easy. So if you do get, one, you should reward yourself, for the effort that you have done, because it's not easy and it's challenging, but it's like a booster to you. Okay, it's like a booster, better than the booster dose that we have to take. Okay, right, a booster to our motivation. Okay, another reason why I feel that I'm obligated, I'm actually obligated to share my experiences in securing grants was that prior to getting my first FRGS, I have to admit to you that I attended a number of talks. I attended a number of talks given by RMC. Okay, and during that time it wasn't online. Okay, it was like face to face, so you really had to make yourself present, okay, physically, and listen to the speakers. Okay, so I have to admit that I do learn a lot from them. I learn, let me put it this way to you, I learned the strategies. It's more of the strategies. You have to know the right strategies, how to go about it, how to tackle it, because sometimes I believe that all of us have great ideas, but the thing is we may not have the right strategy to secure that grant with the idea that we have proposed. Okay, so inshallah today I will do my very best to share whatever little knowledge that I have with everyone here, and and inshallah I really hope that it will be beneficial to everybody, inshallah. Okay, let me share my screen now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope every one of you can see my screen. Okay. All right. I'm Adlina Arifin. I am from Dell. Department of English Language and Literature, and I'm also the Deputy Director of at RMC. So the title of my presentation today is From Idea to Paper, Crafting a Persuasive Research Proposal. Crafting. Writing proposals is a craft, okay? It's a craft. You have to have the skill for it. You have to have the knowledge for it. You have to have the right strategies for it. That's what I believe, okay? That's my mantra when going for proposal writing, yeah? Okay, so I am well aware that at the moment, there is an opening for FRGS grants at the moment, all right? And I think last night was the deadline for PRGS. So FRGS is still going on. FRGS, yeah. So we still have time, okay? It's until, if I'm not mistaken, 15th of February. 15th of February, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we still have time to craft our proposal. But for my presentation today, brothers and sisters, I am not just going to focus on FRGS, okay? I'm going to focus on, it's going to be like concurrent, okay? I'm going to refer to FRGS as well as another grant which I managed to secure, which is the DSRG grant by MCMC. Okay, so I'm going to, as I go through my presentation with you, I will be sharing with you the experiences in getting both grants and the strategies that I use. Okay, so I will be referring to these two documents, the DSRG as well as FRGS, inshallah. Okay, okay. The reason why I don't feel that I want to focus purely on FRGS is mainly because if you notice recently, there is an email in the IRKHS community regarding grants from Yayasan Hasanah. Okay, so you can go for that as well. Okay, inshallah, if you apply the steps and you can apply for any other grants that are available. And I also came to know about my SDG Foundation. They are also coming up with grants for SDG programs. Okay, so you can also go for that one. Okay, so it's like you can go for various grants, and they need not just be FRGS. Okay, it depends on what you want. All right, so this will be the presentation outline. Okay, for my talk today. Okay, these are the things I'm going to cover: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the first one is the most important thing, which I believe many of us may not be aware of, is to study the guidelines. Okay, I might be wrong. But I do believe that majority of us, when we go for a particular grant, most of the time we forget about the guidelines. We put the guideline aside and we just go into the proposal and preparing the proposal and thinking about the proposal, but we put aside the guideline, which I feel that should not be the case. In my opinion, you should look at the guidelines first, and I will tell you why. I will explain to you why in a while, okay? The first thing is you got to study the guidelines. Go through it, all right? Page by page, whether you like it or not. You have no choice, okay? Go through it. And then the second one is regarding research team. Very, very important. Very, very important to have good research team. And I will share with you my strategies in terms of selecting my research team, okay? Or the team members for my team. Research ideas, and then we go into crafting the proposal, okay? So the first one is study the guidelines. Scrutinize research guidelines. Scrutinize, okay? It's not just read, okay? When we talk about guidelines, don't just simply read, blah, 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 that's it. No, okay? It shouldn't be that. You must be very detailed, you know, when you read, you got to really look for the specific information, what exactly that they want, okay? So you have to scrutinize, read it carefully. Okay, use this. Okay, use be a Sherlock Holmes, when you read the guidelines. Okay, so let's look at what are the things which I feel is very important when you read the guidelines. Okay, so basically there are five things which I feel very, very important when you read the guideline that you need to focus on. Number one is know your eligibility. Are you eligible or not? Okay. Is the grant only meant for Malaysians? Is it open? Okay. So because you need to ensure that, or sometimes the grant may have like age limit. I really hate that, when they have the age limit. But there are grants which are like that. Okay, they will put an age limit below 40. Bam, that's it. Okay, like Racer, for example, Racer for the young ones. So of course, the oldies cannot apply. Okay, so in terms of eligibility, okay. And then the second one is research focus area. We're going to go through all this in a while, but I'm just going to briefly tell you a research focus area. Okay, you have to understand that for each grant, there will be a focus, okay, a specific focus, okay, for that particular grant. So you really need to really understand, what does the grant want? What does the grant want? Okay, it's not what you want. It's what does the grant want from me, all right? So you have to ensure that you fit into what they want, because they are the funder. You are actually reading the guidelines from the funders. Okay, so you need to know what they want from you, and you prepare your proposal accordingly, and make sure that you cater for all the things that they are requesting from you. Okay, now specific requirements. There are certain grants which are specific in nature. That's number one. Number two, for example, like FRGS, I noticed that year by year, they may have the generic guideline, but year by year, I noticed they tweak and turn and added a few more things into the guideline, which has become rather specific in nature. I will explain that in a while. And then look at the required output. What is required out of it? You really need to understand that. Okay, what is required out of it? And then also the evaluation criteria. Okay, so these are the five things that that you should be focusing on when you read or scrutinize the guidelines. So the first one is eligibility. But and as I mentioned to you, okay, in case you are wondering, how does the FRGS guideline looks like? Ini dia. And I'm very sorry because I take it as they are. I did not translate it, so it looks like this lah. Okay, garis panduan. Okay, for our international colleagues here. Please bear with me because this comes from Kementerian, and anything comes from Kementerian will always be in Bahasa Melayu. Okay, so so you have on the right here is garis panduan skim grant penyelidikan fundamental FRGS. This is the recent one, 2022. So if you are going for FRGS this year, please make sure you read this garis panduan. Okay, and this one here, I'm sharing with you the application guide for the DSRG Digital Society Research Grant. This one I took it from last year because they have yet to open for this year. And Alhamdulillah, me and my team, we managed to secure the grant for both of this. Okay, so and I will be sharing with you the experiences that we had to go through. Okay, don't worry, they're not. There are wonderful experiences. Okay, all right. Next. Okay. Okay. So this is the content of the guideline. Okay. So you look at the table of contents. Okay. Table of contents, senarai kandungan. So for table of content, okay, for MCMC, all right, section 1 about MCMC DSRG grant. Okay, you read through. Okay, all this you have to make sure you read very carefully, and also this part here. Okay, This one a bit later, but this one, section 1 and section 2, okay, about MCMC and application process and procedures. You have to know all this. You have to read through all this in detail, okay, in terms of this one, especially eligibility criteria, research proposal, expenditure details, okay, and then proposal submission, evaluation of proposals. All these are already mentioned here, okay. So the same with FRGS. In FRGS, I would say the part that you need to focus would be bahagian 2, permohonan, ya, the application, okay, where you have the general criteria for the application, and then the main area, the main focus, research focus for FRGS, and then the duration of the research, you know, and then the grant amount, okay, the research output, all this you have to make sure you know this. And also this one, penilaian permohonan, in terms of the evaluation of the proposal. They already mentioned all that, and even the criteria, okay. So you just make sure that you fulfill all that, okay. So moving on, okay, eligibility for the SRG. Okay, I'm sharing with you the screenshot from the parts which I focus, okay, when I read through. Okay, so for the eligibility criteria for the SRG, your main question would be, am I eligible to apply? Okay, is this grant for me? Okay, so that one is very important. So you look at the eligibility, and it says here that the grant is open to full-time academic faculty member in schools of, look at this, communications, social sciences, humanities, or related fields of private and public institutions of higher learning, IHLS. So you see, if you are in communication, in social sciences, in humanities, which we are, I mean, I'm referring to my colleagues at KR KHS, you can always apply for this one, the SRG, okay? And look at the rules to the applicant. All of us are degree holders, okay, no problem. Lead researcher, the principal investigator or lead researcher must have an appointment with the local institution, all right, university, for at least the duration of proposed research project. So if like the proposed research project, okay, for one thing that I want to inform you is that the SRG is a very fast-paced research. Okay, it's a very fast-paced research. You are only given 6 months to complete everything. So you really need to be on your toes. Okay, you cannot sleep. No, I'm just joking. Not that you don't sleep, but you have to always be on the go, you know, to ensure that you reach the milestone, okay? Because as compared to FRGS, you have like 2 years, 3 years, but the SRG, you have to make sure, okay, you have 6 months, so you've got to go and do it within 6 months, okay? So at least if you have an appointment of 6 months, okay, you can go for this. Okay, and then the salary of researchers cannot be financed from this grant. Okay, this is clearly stated. Okay, you cannot pay yourself as researchers. Okay, you cannot allocate some amount to pay yourself. Okay, while doing the research. Okay, you cannot do that. Okay, researchers request a grant on her or his own behalf or on behalf of possible project consortium. Researchers responsible for research and financial matters. Okay, this one here, researchers can only submit one proposal as lead researcher within the SCOL, and each researcher can act no more than twice as applicant. So as lead researcher or co-researcher, okay? So which means that, you know, you can apply another one, but it's like only twice. You're given the two chances, okay? But only one proposal during one call. Normally MCMC, they will open this DSRG grant twice per year, okay? But for this 2022, I have not seen it yet. Okay, FRGS eligibility. Okay, again, I'm sorry, they're all in Bahasa Melayu, but inshallah I will try to translate it. Okay. Eligibility for FRGS, okay, the PI, okay, must be Malaysian, okay, with permanent status or contract status, all right? But for contract status, you need to ensure that your contract is going to be renewed. They want to know that. They want to ensure that you will be around after you have secured the grant. Okay, so that one, if any of you who are non-Malaysians, okay, and you are on contract, or even Malaysian and non-Malaysian on contract, okay, please make sure that you, if you need your, if you want to apply for FRGS and you need your contract to be renewed, can you please inform RMC, okay, because we are actually contacting MSD, okay, to do the necessary processes to ensure that you know, your contract is renewed, inshallah. Okay. All right. Now this one is very important. The one on the right side. Okay. This one here. All right. What it means here is this: if let's say you have had an FRGS grant going on, and this year 2022, you would like to go for another, you know, another round of applying for FRGS. Okay. To do that, you have to ensure that your previous FRGS grant, all right, the status should be the progress, the project progress should be 75% and above. It cannot be below 75. So which means that on my grants, on the migrant system, we should be able to see that, okay, the previous FRGS is already 80%, selesai, settled, completed, okay, which means that yes, you can apply for this coming 2022. All right. So please make sure you take note of that. I've just gotten news from my colleague who attended the Taklimat yesterday on the evaluation of FRGS. Mohe clearly mentioned that those who have racer, FRGS racer, those who have secured FRGS racer, if you wish to apply for this FRGS 2022, you have to ensure that your research is 100% complete. 100%. Okay, racer, they have a different condition. Racer, 100% complete. But others, non-racer recipients, 75%. Okay. Okay, next one. I'm very sorry, but my slide is not cooperating with me. 1 minute, yeah. La ilaha illallah. Okay. All right. Next is the focus area, research focus area. Okay. Okay. La ilaha illallah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Focus research focus area. Okay. So for this research focus area, the main question that you should ask yourself is, given my area of expertise or research interest, what is the area which I can fit in to give the best contribution for this particular grant? Okay, because when you look at the eligibility, you are eligible because you are in, let's say you are in communication, social sciences, or humanities. So you feel that, okay, I really want to contribute to this. Now, how do I fit in? Now, brothers and sisters, I would like to inform you that, as mentioned by Dr. Amelia just now, okay, my background is actually education, okay, as well as linguistics. Okay, so I know that I have, these are my area of expertise. Okay, so I asked myself, all right, if I were to go for this grant, okay, and these are the things that they want, how would I match what I like to do, my research interests, with what they want me to do? So when I look through, the research category and the gap area that they are requesting. Okay, this is their request, what they want under this list of digital citizenship and cyberwell research. I feel that this is where I can come in terms of open research for communication strategies gap. So this is where I focused on, okay, understanding the co-relationship between internet and mental health. So this was the scope or the focus, okay, that I went on when I wrote my proposal for the grant. Okay, right. Next one is, so what I'm trying to say is you need to match your area of expertise to what the funder wants. I think that's very important. Okay, next one is for FRGS. Okay, this one is for FRGS. For FRGS, okay, you have to look at this domain penyelidikan or research domain. The research domain. They have one research domain, the other one is research cluster. Okay, so just go through this research domain, and in the system it will be like a drop down. So you just choose which is the research domain that you are catering for. Okay, so you just click on any appropriate areas, okay, or domains that your research is going to focus on. Another one is research cluster. Okay, there are 8 clusters. So which cluster, okay, the research that you are doing is going to focus on which cluster. Okay, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you that when we talk about research domain or research cluster, it's not about your research, your expertise, you know. It's not about, oh, I am in communication, so I have to find where's communication. No communication here. No. Okay, teknologi maklumat dan komunikasi. Okay, sorry, there is communication here. But what I'm trying to say is, like, okay, for example, like Islamic studies. Alamak, Islamic studies tak ada lah kat sini. It's not here. The thing is this, as I mentioned to you in our previous discussion last time, this is not domain. What you are doing is not a single domain research study. You have to go back to the issue or the problem that you are tackling. All right, and fit into that research problem. When we talk about research domain and research cluster, it's not the research domain of the investigators or the research cluster of the investigators. It is more of the research domain and research cluster of the problem that you are trying to solve. So is it going to be climate change and environment? The problem, okay? Is it on health? Is it on education and knowledgeable civil society? Is it on national security? Where is the scope, the research scope going to fall into? Don't think about you as a PI. Think of the problem. Where does the problem fit into all this research domain and research cluster? Okay. All right. Now specific requirements. Okay, just now I mentioned about specific requirements. So now we look at DSRG. Okay, DSRG. Now, in the DSRG guideline, okay, it is stated that researchers can only submit, okay, this one we have covered, this one here. The research team must be comprised of at least 2 researchers. You have to take note of this. This is specific requirement. Must be comprised of 2 researchers, lead researcher and co-researcher. Researchers in professions other than academia are allowed to be part of the research team. To me, this is different from any normal grants, because this means that, you know, professions other than academia. So which means that if you want to include someone from the industry, you can also do that. Okay, why? To complement the expertise and with the expectation that the product of the research will contribute to the wider body of knowledge on the topic specified. Okay, so you can bring in people from the industry even, okay, if you need to, as a team member. And then intellectual property. Okay, read on the intellectual property. Okay, ownership, management of IPs. Okay, so all this you need to the small prints. You have to really go through and make sure you understand them clearly before you sign anything, before you go for this. Okay, Because why? We do not want to have, at the end of it all, after you have, put in a lot of effort, suddenly there are problems. Okay, in terms of IP, in terms of publication. Okay, in the SRG, they have already spelled out, okay, the publishing rights, okay, which belongs to what and things like that. So you just need to go through, and I call this specific requirements, okay, which you also need to pay attention to. Okay, FRGS, specific requirements. Okay, right. This one, I think during my previous talk to my colleagues, I've already mentioned about 1010 my STIE. I think I explained that already. So 1010 my STIE, means Malaysian Science, Technology, Innovation and Economy. Okay, which have these 10 socio-economic drivers. Okay, so these are the 10 socio-economic drivers. And again, what you need to do when you apply for this is, in the migrant system, there will be drop down, and again, you match, okay, where are you fit, where is the problem or the solution that you are going to propose, okay, where will it fit in? Which area will it fit in? Is it pendidikan? Is it agriculture, water and food, smart cities and transportation? Where do you fit in? Okay, so you match it accordingly. Okay, and then another requirement which I noticed in the guideline 2022 is this here, wawasan kemakmuran bersama. Okay, shared prosperity vision 2030. Okay, so again, choose which one. Okay, which of these does your proposal fall into? Okay, so you have to be well aware of this. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is to make you aware that these are the things that you have to think about when you are preparing your proposal. It's not just when you prepare proposal, it's not just, I mean, for FRGS, yeah, for FRGS, it's not just, okay, the data collection method, blah, 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 the normal thing, not just that, but you also need to ensure that you have sufficient knowledge and sufficient information on these things that I'm sharing with you today. Shared Prosperity Vision 2030, 1010 my STIE. You cannot just, malas nak tahu, malas nak ambil tahu. No. Unfortunately, if you want to go for FRGS, you need to know. Because these are the things. As I mentioned to you at the very beginning of my talk, I noticed that some of you may have good ideas, but sometimes the proposal is not accepted because of technical issues. And these are among the technical issues. Okay, because your research doesn't fall into the areas where which the government feels is crucial at the moment. So that's why you have to make sure that your research can match into all these things, because this 1010 SAE, shared prosperity vision, and all these things, they are the national agenda. The national agenda of the country, the national interest of the country. Okay, and remember, the funder is MOHE. MOHE is under Malaysian government. Okay, so you whether you like it or not, you got to align your proposal to all these concepts. Okay, another one is in the FRGS, it is this one I would say 2.1.10 is rather new. I think it started 1 or 2 years back. This one, collaboration. They want you to collaborate. So which means that in your research team, when you build your research team, okay, you can collaborate with people from industry and also from other agencies. Like, for example, Halal Development Agency or Jabatan, agency anti dadah negara or something like that. You can always engage. This is to show them that you are not working in silos. That the problem that you have that you are coming up with, okay, there are actual problems based on your engagement with these industries or the agencies, okay, and to show them and to prove to them that you have already made such engagement. This is when they say you need to upload the letter of intent when you apply for this FRGS. Please make sure that you get letter of intent from the industry or the agency that you are going to work with, those which will be in your team. You can get one person to be in your team, okay, and that will really, you know, I believe it will give a strong weightage to your proposal. So please include letter of intent. And then carian patent search, okay, patent search. There is I do not want to elaborate too much on patent search because you can go to RMC's website because RMC had a number of talks on the patent search given by various professors from MUHE, if I'm not mistaken. So you can go through the step by step on doing patent search. Okay, how to go about doing patent search. Now, many of us may lament, alamak, you know, they're putting all this, why lah? Why do we have to do patent search? Okay, I don't intend to patent my work later on. Who knows? That's number one. Number two, to me, I think carian patent or patent search actually indicates the novelty. You want to show people that, you know, my research is novel. Because brothers and sisters, when you go for fundamental research, fundamental means novel. Fundamental means no one has thought about it yet and I am coming up with it. That's what it means. Okay, that's why you need to do patent search, because when you do patent search, I've done it a number of times, and I noticed that for certain areas, okay, you can see, like for example, in certain field, okay, most of the research you can there is a graph where you can see most of it comes from United States or UK, and so very minimal coming from Asian countries, for example. So you can use that, all right, to you know, to make your research or to make a proposal persuasive, okay, that look, not many people have done this in my area and in the Asian region, and I might be the first one, so you know, you need to give me this fund. Well, that's how you're saying it indirectly, okay, right? And also the risk assessment, okay, risk assessment, all right. By the way, quadruple helix, you can, I think you can do some search what quadruple helix means. Basically, there are 8 agencies, okay, or 8 components. So you can collaborate with any of these people, the stakeholders in the quadruple helix. Okay, and of course, we have the SDG. Okay, you have to link with SDGs. Okay, so you need to know this research that you are doing will fall into which SDG. Okay. And brothers and sisters, SDG is the buzzword now, okay? You cannot run away from it, okay? So you got to match, okay? I believe, you know, when we do all this, at least we know that, okay, I'm trying to help people in this area, in SDG 15, for example, okay? Or in SDG 14, you know that you are contributing something in this particular area. When people ask you, so what research are you doing now? Oh, I'm doing this research catering for SDG 14, which is blah, 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 blah. And then you can explain. So, you know, it's like, I think it gives you a clear focus on what you are doing. That's what I feel about SDG, okay? You're contributing something in that area. Okay, next one is required output. Yeah? Okay, for required output for FRGS, okay. FRGS, as we know it, the maximum ceiling is 250K. Maximum ceiling is 250K, which is a lot of money, actually. Especially for social sciences and humanities, yeah, a lot, 250K. And the project can run for 3 years or 2 years. So if you're doing it for 3 years, okay, you can appoint at least one PhD student or two master students, okay, on full-time mode, students on full-time mode, okay, or a mix of both. You can have a mix of both, okay. So which means like one PhD and one master, okay. Or you can also run it for 2 years, okay, with one master student on full-time mode, okay, as your GRA. Okay. Okay, this one, the clauses down here, please take note. All right. So when you appoint the GRA must be the supervisee of the PI or the co-researcher in the same institution. So that means, okay, the GRA must be from IIUM, and the supervisors must be either the PI or the co-researcher from the same institution, from IIUM. So please don't think that can I have one of my co-researchers is from USIM. Can I appoint her student, her supervisee as the GRA of this project? The answer is no, because it is clearly stated that it must be from the same institution. Next, this one is new, brothers and sisters. Please take note. For non-Malaysian PIs, okay, you must ensure that you appoint the PhD. You appoint a Malaysian student, okay, as your GRA. You must appoint a Malaysian student. If let's say you have 2 GRAs, one of the GRA must be Malaysian. So these are new clauses. This one, 2514 and 2515, it started last year, 2021. This one is started last year, 2021. And for your information, last year, our colleagues who managed to secure the 2021 FRGS grants, okay, after the announcement was made, we called all of them and I gave them a briefing of the guideline, and many of them were shocked. Many of them were shocked, especially our non-Malaysian or international colleagues who secured the grants, because they didn't know that they have to appoint Malaysian GRA. Okay, so that is why, brothers and sisters, I am telling you that the first thing you should do is read the guideline. Okay, and of course, to our international colleagues, the guidelines, unfortunately, it is in Bahasa Melayu, so maybe you need to get someone to explain it to you or translate it to you. Okay, right. In terms of penerbitan, this is also something new that I want to share with all of you. In terms of penerbitan, it is stated here that for FRGS, you need to produce at least 2 index article. All right, index articles in WOS, Corpus, ERA, my site. So there are 3 indexed publications allowed here. However, here, this clause is very important, this sentence here. One of those publication must be indexed in WOS. So this is one requirement for FRGS. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, when you write your articles, okay, you are encouraged to take someone from the industry as your co-author. That will really push up your, I think the main reason why they want to put the industry there is so that your paper will not only be read by scholars in your field, but also be read by the practitioners in the industry. So that is how, you can get, you can become the top, I don't know, top 1% for citation and things like that, because you are actually expanding your scope of readers. If you do that, if you have people from the industry and the scholars and the academia in your paper, so your paper will be read by broader audience. That's the main aim. Okay. And who knows, maybe they like your idea. Maybe the industry loves your idea so much. and they may contact you and and adopt or whatever, so that is the strategy actually. And of course you have to ensure that you give proper acknowledgement to the publication. Okay, next, evaluation criteria for FRGS. Okay, this is evaluation criteria, and when I look at the evaluation criteria, not so many actually, there are only 4. But even though there are only 4, but there are quite a lot of things there. Okay, the first one is the criteria. You have to ensure that when you submit the FRGS proposal, okay, it should meet these criteria. The first one is the proposal needs to be able to touch on or to tap on a new idea, theory, concept, method, model, process. Okay, take note of that. New idea baharu. Okay, because why? Because this is fundamental. When we talk about fundamental, it is something new. You must come up with something novel, something like, it's like this. When people read your work, it's like, wow, this is fantastic. Okay, they should have that kind of impression of your proposal. Okay, next one is, if you don't have anything new, but you feel that, all the while we have been doing things in this A approach, using A approach for certain things, but now you come up with you have thought of another way of doing things, which is so much better. Okay, you realize that there needs to be improvement in the existing policy or methodology. Okay, so you want to propose this particular improvement. Okay, so that can be it as well. Okay, it can be an improvement on existing policy, methodology, or completion model. Okay, the next one is the research scope. Okay, it should cover issues related to humanities and societies to improve societal well-being. That is very, very important. Okay, and it should be at the national level. You see here, peningkatan nilai kehidupan dalam negara. Dalam negara. Dan sejagat. Sejagat means, okay, it means it could be Malaysia, or you want to do Malaysia with another country. That can also be that. Okay. But what you cannot do is, for example, because I'm sharing this experience of evaluating proposals or reading proposals, I noticed that some colleagues, when they do the research scope, it's not nationwide. It's more of a Gombak area, okay, a Pekan, okay, very, very narrow, too narrow. You cannot do that. If you want to get FRGS, which is actually a national level grant and a very competitive one, you cannot just be focusing on Gombak area or kampung blah 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 Gombak. Tak boleh. You cannot do that. Okay? You need to make it broader. It should be nationwide. It should cover Sabah, Sarawak. Okay? It should cover the whole Semenanjung Malaysia, for example. With that, you can get it, insyaAllah. But don't make it narrow. Okay? And of course, eventually they want to see how your proposal contribute toward Malaysia's strategic agenda. Strategic agenda. So when I say strategic agenda, this is what I mean by the 1010 my STIE, the wawasan, what is it? The shared prosperity vision, okay, etc., etc. All these policies will come into play. Okay, so to show that yes, what you are proposing actually contributes towards Malaysia's strategic agenda. They want to see that. Okay, it's not like what Dr. Hasina mentioned just now, shot sendiri. Bukan shot sendiri, cannot be shot sendiri. Okay, and this is the latest thing I received from them. What they're going for is new knowledge based on Malaysian mold. Ilmu baru acuan Malaysia. Ilmu baru acuan Malaysia. Okay, something which is tailored towards our country. Okay, no, because what the government is trying to do is we do not want to be users of technology, but we also would want to be innovators and creators of technology, of new knowledge. And if possible, okay, the government aspires for us to, to be able to produce Nobel laureate, for example. Okay. So this is the agenda. Okay, this is the agenda. Whether we get there or not, wallahu alam, but this is what they have in mind. Okay, now I want to talk about research team, the research team. Okay, and share with you how I go about doing it. Okay. Now, as I mentioned to you just now, all right, my area is education plus linguistics. Okay, I'm not an expert, but I have generally these are my areas. Okay, education plus linguistics. Okay, so when I want to go for a particular research or particular grant, I will ask myself, okay, who are the people who should be in my team? Who are the people who would help me, all right, in this particular research? Knowing that these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. Okay, who are the people who can complement my strengths and weaknesses in the team? All right. Okay, now this is how I look at it. Build a team where the strength of each member complements each other. All of them are competent to carry out the investigation within the stipulated time and produce the promised output. It should be complementing. You are complementing one another. Okay, and I take this quote from Phil Jackson: "The strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team." Now, brothers and sisters, maybe you may feel that, Allah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to, you can just pick and choose anyone, anyone in the department, you buddy with someone, you just, hey, I put your name here. I think that should not be the practice. Because when you, of course, you can put your friends, but please make sure they can deliver and they can assist you. You have to ensure from day one, inform them from day one that, I would like you to join me. I mean, it is a great honor for me to invite you into my team. And these are some of the things that I expect that, we can work together on. Make it clear from day one, what are the things that you may wish your friends to contribute, how you want them to contribute. I think that's very, very important. Spell it out from day one when you invite them into your team. Okay, because we also don't want joyriders in the team. Yeah. Okay, now I want to share with you this is the title of my FRGS grant, and how what did I do? Okay, how did I go about selecting my team members? So the title of my FRGS is Developing a Model and Effective Promotion of Halal Concept to Increase Halal Awareness Through Multi-Perspective Approaches for the Halal Food Industry. Okay, so you see, as I mentioned to you just now, I am a social scientist as well as a linguist. So when which means that my focus is on effective promotion, the promotional discourse of halal concept. Okay, but then I realized that I don't know much about the halal industry. There are so many things I don't know. So I need to ensure that my team members would be able to assist me, to guide me, to provide the right direction. Okay, so that is why in my team I am in linguistics, and another colleague in linguistics, and I have someone, an expert in halal. I also have someone in business and marketing in my team. Okay, so this is how I look at it. So they will assist me in terms of ensuring that what I'm doing is, following giving me ideas in terms of their areas of expertise into the whole research thing. Okay, so my advice to new researchers is, you need to get the senior researchers to join. Don't be shy. Get them on board. Okay, these are my team members. They are professors. Okay, I have professors. I have associate professors. I have assistant professors. I know various varieties. Okay, varieties of them. But the thing is, don't be shy. Approach them. Tell them what you want to do, and request for their assistance and input. Okay. Next, the second one, the second grant which I managed to secure was on this is the DSRG grant, investigating the impact of social networks on women working from home in alleviating psychological distress. Now, when you look at the title, you would be like, what is Dr. Adlina doing? She's not in psychology pon. This should be Prof. Shukran's area, Yeah, that was the thing I said to myself as well. Like, I'm not in psychology, But you know what? Let me tell you honestly, when I wrote the proposal, to be honest, I wrote the proposal because I was very, very disturbed with news of the problems and the challenges and the struggles faced by women working from home. I read that every day in the papers, in the WhatsApp, how they were struggling so much. And I said to myself, Ya Allah, I want to help them. That, to be honest with you, that was what happened to me. Okay, I said to myself, I want to help my fellow friends, my fellow women folks. So that was, I said to myself, I want to go for this grant because I want to help them. So that was my niyyah actually. It's not so much about getting the grant, but it's actually, I want to help them. I want to do something about it. To be honest with you, that was what happened to me at that time. So that was why when I work on the proposal, I really work on it. Okay, I really give my 100%. So in terms of composition of team, all right, to ensure that I get the grant, okay, of course, I have to engage people from psychology. And I know my dear colleague is here, Dr. Jamila Hanum, all right? And okay, how did I manage to contact her? Let me share with you this thing. To be honest, I never knew Dr. Jamila. Okay, I don't know her personally. To be honest, I do not know her personally. But what I did was, like anybody else, I went to the staff directory. I went into the staff directory, and I looked through the areas of interest, her area of interest, her publication, I mean, I looked at a few, and then I did istikharah. Okay, and Allah led me to her, and I think I made the best choice, alhamdulillah. Okay, so Dr. Jamila was here, and then I said to myself, okay, because this has got to do with social networks, I need to get someone from KICT, of course, to assist me, to give me, the IT perspective of things. Okay, so alhamdulillah, I managed to get Prof. Mira onto my team. All right. So, and this is my advice to you: don't be shy to reach out. Don't be shy don't be afraid. We have many wonderful friends, and we have many experts around us. Make use of them. Okay. They are just waiting for you to, sometimes they cannot offer themselves. Okay, but maybe they are waiting for you to knock on their door and say, I need your help. Are you willing to help me? That kind of thing. Okay, so that is that was my strategies. Okay, and it worked. Okay, alhamdulillah. We have completed for the DSRG. We have already submitted the final report, and everything is done, alhamdulillah. And I cannot thank more to my team members for that. Okay, how to write proposal? Finally, subhanallah. Okay, research ideas. Okay, so you have a lot of research ideas, but make sure that those ideas are genuine or real problems. Okay, in my previous talk, I have already mentioned to you. Okay, genuinely impactful research. Okay, must come from genuine or real problems. And how can you do that? By engaging with the community, or sometimes you read the papers or you read journal articles and things like that. So, you know, this is how you can come up with problems, identifying the problems or the gap. Crafting the proposals. Okay, components of a proposal. Okay, these are the components of the proposal: executive summary, blah, 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 blah. But let me tell you this, brothers and sisters. Let me tell you this particular very important information. For FRGS particularly, or any other grants that has executive summary, or any other grants that have executive summary. My humble opinion and my humble advice to all of you is, you need to craft your executive summary in the most impactful and persuasive manner, because for evaluators, that will be the part, you know, that initial appraisal, that first time reading your executive summary, whether they will shortlist your research or not, whether they will shortlist your proposal or not. That executive summary. So you need to really spend, you know, good amount of time to really craft your executive summary and make it impactful and persuasive. Because, brothers and sisters, if your executive summary is not persuasive enough, will not, you know, get them to say, wow, they will not, I repeat, they will not read your intro, problem statement, blah, blah, blah. They will not read. So you have to make sure your executive summary is really impactful. And of course, the way I look at it is, you know, for introduction and problem statement, it goes from very general to becoming more and more specific, okay, like any other research proposal. So work on your executive summary. So now I want to share with you what I did for my executive summary for FRGS. Okay, you have to write a succinct, clear, logical, cohesive, and compelling. Write clearly and convincingly. Show how important it is for national interest. And when we say national interest, please make sure you quote some policies, some pelantindakan, whatever, that is related to the research problem, okay? The 12 Malaysia Plan, or Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia, Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama 2030, all this you need to find out, you need to read up, okay? But make sure you link, try to link, okay, in your proposal. So in the executive summary, okay, this is what an example I want to show you. Okay, I was doing on halal, right? So it was very important for me to mention this, that Malaysian government has formulated strategic approaches to become a global halal hub by 2020. Okay, please remember this, my proposal was in 2018, okay? So this one is already outdated, this information, yeah? So, but then you need to know, when you write your proposal, you need to know what's the agenda of the country. And you need to include that in your proposal, okay, to show that you know what's happening. All right. So introduce the issue and link to the national agenda. Very important. The next one is, then only you mention about, you know, slowly bringing in the research scope into the picture and introduce the problem. Okay, introduce the problem. Next, okay, then you show the gap. Despite numerous studies, there is a dearth of research which analyzes promotional language used to convey the halal messages and its effectiveness in gaining customers' trust. Okay, so you highlight the gap. And then you mention the methodology, research objective, and the expected output. Only these four things, these four important things in the executive summary, and that will determine the life and death of your proposal, or whether your proposal will be shortlisted or not. Okay, all right.
Dr. Adelina.
Next one. Yes.
Dr. Adelina, sorry to interrupt you. We have around 10 minutes more, Doctor.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll make it very fast. Okay, introduction. All right. Very quickly. Introduction, make sure you cite relevant studies and gradually lead the readers to focus on the problem. And then in terms of problem statement, okay, make sure you provide the statistics for the cases and show the gap. okay, in the literature. Okay, most importantly, in the literature review, you must make sure you have the researcher's voice. You must have the researcher's voice, because literature review is not a summary of previous research. You need to have the researcher's voice to show the gap, and also theoretical or conceptual framework. You must have this, yeah, in your literature review. Please make sure you have the conceptual or theoretical framework for the research. Very important. Next one, research objectives and research questions. This one here is the draft, how I came about with the RO, research objective, and the RQ. This is my main RQ and specific questions. Okay, so this is how I developed it. Okay, when you do it like this, you know that you are focusing on specific, like mechanics. What are the mechanics, common lexical terms, rhetorical devices, promotional discourse. Okay, so very specific. And then please, when you write the research objectives and research questions, okay, try to use the right verbs. Right verbs, okay. Investigate, examine, identify, come up with, propose, recommend. Avoid using to measure, to characterize, to synthesize. No, okay. You make sure you use the right terms. Research method, okay. Please make sure you give detailed description with realistic duration. Divide the study into several phases. I'm sure it will help you a lot if you put them in phases, and provide flowchart or Gantt chart. Okay, I'll show you what I did. This is my framework of research procedure. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 for the corresponding research questions, as well as data collection and participants, etc. And then the flowchart. Phase 1, what are the things covered in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4? Okay, I find that very helpful when I do it like this, phases. Okay, budget. Budget, okay, please make sure you know the votes. Brothers and sisters, this is very important. When you do your budget in the proposal, okay, you have to know what vote for what. That's number one. And also you need to know what are the things that you cannot request for budget for in the proposal. Okay, important notes. Okay, make sure that all things required for the study as delineated in the research methodology are sufficiently budgeted for. Example, in my study, I mentioned here, this phase, I need to do structured, semi-structured interview. So in my budget, I make sure that I put under fieldwork, and I make sure I have all that budgeted for. And then I have also, I also did focus group discussion. I also make sure I have a budget, a proper budget on that. And when you do the budgeting, you see, it is good if you clearly state 20 stakeholders, 2% times 100 times 20 times per project. So it shows that you really put in a lot of thinking into even coming up with the budget. You're very detailed on that, and they like that. Okay, in summation, all right, when you do to secure a grant, okay, identify the grant, check eligibility, take detailed notes and start draft application, and let the application sit for a few days, revise, edit, proofread, okay, no spelling errors, please. Before you click the submit button, please make sure you do the proofreading and all that, yeah. Okay, and next one. Okay, writing a proposal is time consuming, so never rush. So you have to start now. I know everybody is very tight with marking, but get it done and then focus on, you need to have time to prepare proposal, okay? And you need to put aside some time for deep work. You need to be clear, don't leave any stone unturned. Persuasive, okay, you need to produce winning proposal, which means, what is the meaning of winning proposal? Why project must be undertaken, what specific issues that you are addressing, why you and your team are the right people to do it, what type of data to be collected, how, where, and when the data data collection will take place, how the data will be analyzed, ethical issues must be handled, and also the findings, how the findings will be disseminated. Yes, I think that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adlina. So many input shared by our respected Dr. Adlina, on research and research grant.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Dr. All right. Okay, we move on to the question and answer session. I can see in the chat box there are two question. Alright, Doctor.
Okay,
Number
yeah.
one, the question, right? Just now you are sharing based on your experience, right? How you are not working in silos means to say that you know, you engage with researchers from other discipline, right, Doctor? And
Yeah.
then there's a question on that, Doctor,
Yeah.
by Brother Syed Marwan, brother or doctor? Brother Syed Marwan want to know.
Dr. Said Marwan. I know him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Dr. Syed Marwan. Alright. Dr. Syed want to know if he want to, you know, craft a research proposal or embark a research using this multi-disciplines research. Okay, he should go for applying for FRGS or TRGS, Dr. Adlina.
Okay. Thank you for the question, Dr. Said. Okay. Currently, I think starting last year, the RMC noticed that Mohe doesn't offer TRGS anymore. Mohe doesn't offer TRGS anymore. They stopped. And I believe that has got to do with funding. Okay? Because you see, if you talk about TRGS, the nature is like you have, okay, if you can imagine, let's say TRGS is like, okay, you are bringing in experts from let's say 3 different areas of expertise, yeah, to tackle one problem. Okay, the same, actually the same thing that what I'm doing. It's just that TRGS means that you will become the ketua program. You have the ketua program, and then you have the ketua project. So you have like ketua project for psychology, ketua project for ICT. You have the ketua project. So it's like each one of you will be working again in your respective silos, but solving one big human problem, you see. So that is TRGS. Yeah. Unfortunately, from last year we saw that Mohe doesn't offer TRGS anymore, unfortunately. So that is why I feel that, you know, even if you engage people like this for FRGS, I think that's good enough. That's good enough, because you still need the expertise of colleagues from other kuliahs, other departments, you know, and you can also get people from other universities and even the industry. I think that's really interesting. Okay, any other questions?
Okay,
You said just now
Doctor.
there are 2, yeah?
I think another new question coming in. Right. The next question, right? You mentioned about how important, you know, to have organized executive summary, right, Dr. Adelina? So the question is on whether, you know, the applicant should write the executive summary first before the problem statement, objective, methodology, expected outcome, and significant. Usually we do that first, right, Doctor? And then we summarize that. That is the you know, like doing a thesis. That is consider our abstract, right, Doctor? We conclude everything. So the questions are asking whether, you know, which is, you know, the executive summary should be formulated first, or the problem statement, objective, methodology, and expected outcome.
Okay. Now, thank you for that question. All right. I am not going to, how should I say? I'm not going to prescribe. Okay, I'm not going to prescribe you that this is the best way of doing it. I'm not going to say that. Okay, I'm not. Because different people work differently. Some of us, we feel that we are able to come up with the executive summary, nice one first, and then we move on to introduction. Okay, but some of us, we will go into introduction, you know, put everything nicely, then only we will do a summary, you know, a condensed version of it, and really put it into into the executive summary. So I'm not going to prescribe, because different people will have different style of writing, different style of thinking. But what I can share with you was that for me, when I was coming up with my FRGS, I worked on the executive summary first. So basically, it was like I come up with the executive summary, so that in my mind I have an overall idea of what I am planning to do for this particular research, and then I copy I copied that executive summary part, put it in the intro, and then I started to expand. I cite studies, I search for studies, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And as you do that, you still go back and polish the executive summary. So it was like, I would say the executive summary became my draft for the intro, something like that. Okay. So that's why I said there's no one best way for everybody. You need to know your style. Okay. All right. And I noticed here, I would like to mention here, Prof. Farida mentioned that something about publishing the findings. Prof. Farida gave a very good caution here that please sign MOU with your industry partner. My team got into trouble when it was time to publish our findings. Our partner refused permission. Sort this out before you collaborate. Yes, that is very, very important, brothers and sisters, when you are collaborating with others. Because as I mentioned to you just now, my talk is not just only to touch on FRGS, but you may have funders from other agencies, from companies, for example. So you really need to read the small print very, very carefully. Okay, because because at the end of the day, we do not want to face with, for example, legal actions and things like that. Okay, which is not common. Okay, especially for SP projects. Okay, so when you have funders outside, okay, you really need to, if you don't understand anything in the guideline, you have to ask them, clarify everything to them before you put down your signature, or else you might find yourself in trouble. Okay, is there any other?
Dr.
Yes,
Alina,
Prof.
can I
Yeah, Prof.
just extend that it wasn't with a
Yes.
private funder, it was with a government agency. If you are,
Okay.
especially if you are working with badan apa tu beruniform, police, custom, immigration, penjara, especially penjara, so you must be very clear at the beginning whether you can publish the findings. Kalau tak, susah, we almost got into legal tug of war with prison.
Oh God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah, I think because I think like tentera or the prison and all that kan, they are, what is it? The data might be very confidential. I think that's another thing as well. So that's why you need to be clear with them in terms of how much or whether you can publish or not, things like that. And talking about that, brothers and sisters, there is one element in the guideline which I forgot to highlight just now. Now, I would really urge all of you, once you get, if you have secured this one, you do it after you have secured the grant, please. You need to get ethical approval. You need to send your research for ethics approval. We do have ethics committee in UIA, and it is actually housed at RMC Kuantan, our IREC committee. And actually, we have one member in the Kuliah who is the assessor for this IREC. So please send, because they want to ensure that you are following the ethics, the ethical provisions. Why I'm saying that? Because we at the RMC, we noticed that we have had cases of researchers where at the point of publication, the publisher actually requested for ethics approval. Now, brothers and sisters, ethics approval is not something that you get towards the end of your research. It should be at the very beginning of your research, because if, for example, you say that you want to do semi-structured interview, you have to give to the ethics committee the list of questions that you're going to ask, for example, or even the questionnaire that you're going to use. You have to share all these things with them and get their approval, you see. So please make sure that once you have secured your grant, or any grant for that matter, I'm not talking about FRGS alone, Yayasan Hasanah ke whatever, straight away, once you get it, straight away apply for ethics committee approval, because it will really help you later on when you are going to publish and things like that. You can even mention that this research has received approval from ethics approval, with the code number and things like that. Then it will add value to your work, Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah.
All right. From Dr. Jamila Hanum or Professor
Okay.
Jamila Hanum. Right. Okay. Salam Dr. Adlina. Okay. If our topic is very much related to Islamic principles and we want to integrate it, conventional framework and process, do you think it will be acceptable if we have experts from different faiths who are specializing on the conventional part as a research teams, Doctor?
Why not? Why not? You should. I think that will make your research more robust. It's like, in order to solve this particular problem or to tackle this particular issue, you are bringing in people from various perspectives. I think that is very, very interesting. Okay. Just to share with you, even for the promotional discourse of halal that I did, okay, I brought in perspective from customers. It wasn't just linguistic per se. It was also a social study where we look at, the customers' perspective, and then we look at the industry players, the manufacturers, the the designers of the packaging and all those things. So you go down and you meet these people on the ground and get the feedback. So they want to see that robustness in the approach, in the data collection method that you use. I think that will be, really good if you can do that. Does it matter being a principal investigator to a particular proposal and co-researcher to another in the same year of FRGS? Okay, let me see. Dr. Sahid Busari. Dr. Sahid, I need to check that. Okay.
Okay.
And I will email it to you, Sahid. I'm taking down your name so that I can because offhand, there are just so many things in my mind at the moment. I don't remember any particular clause mentioning that you can or you can't. But I will get back to you, okay, Dr. Sahid? I will email it to you, yeah? All right.
Yeah, I have other questions there. I don't know if...
Yeah. But you know what, Dr. Sahid? Becoming a PI for just one grant is, tiring enough. Seriously. Because even if you are a co-researcher of another grant, well, you still need to contribute, right? And sometimes you ask yourself, do I have the time and the energy, not just the time? Do we actually have the energy to focus on all this, at one time? Oh, I don't know. I will be very selective, I think, because if you focus on one and you really give your best, I think that I feel that's, to me, I think that's better rather than doing too many things at one time. I don't know, in terms of the quality. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I also have another question there. That can a potential researcher use same FRGS proposal or part of it for the DSRG?
Okay. For the DSRG? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think it's like this, Dr. Sahid. I'm not going to answer in terms of any specific grant, okay? But I was informed of this tip yesterday. Okay, now, if you are going for a grant and let's say, you are I hate to use the word recycling, but you are submitting an improved version of your proposal, which was not accepted previously, what you should do is the executive summary, you need to reword them. Okay, you need to change them because why? Because I'm talking in terms of Mohe. For Mohe, they will check the similarity index in the executive summary. Okay, so that one you have to, if you are resubmitting, please make sure the executive summary part, you should like reword or revamp, you know, and polish it so that it will not be similar to the one that you have prepared in the previous cycle. Okay, and I believe you should do the same to other grants as well. Okay, to other grants as well. And I know, brothers and sisters, that going for grants, you know, securing grants it's not something easy. It's not easy. I have to admit that it's not easy. You put your mind, you really go into it. You know, to me, it was like I was swimming in the whole thing for about a week or two before I can come up and say, yes, I've done it. You know, you really need to go and think very, very carefully when you prepare your grant. That's what I normally do. Okay, you're really into it. But you know, once you get it, it's like, oh gosh, yeah, you know, yeah, you will feel really. But of course, it's a skill. It's a skill. It's a technique. It's something that, inshallah, after a while you get used to it. You get used to it, inshallah. Okay, but you need to try. Any one of you who have not tried, you should try. You know, I mean, to me, I think actually for me, okay, let me tell you this. That the FRGS that I submitted, that was actually my second attempt. My first attempt, okay, I'm not going to be shy to tell you this. My first attempt, okay, when I wrote my first proposal for FRGS, okay, let me tell you this, a secret, but I'm telling all of you today. I did not even dare submit to Mohe. At that time, I was not with RMC. But I wanted to try. But when I look at the quality of my proposal at that time, I was like, Ya Allah, Ya Rabbi, I don't think I want to submit to Mohe because it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Okay. But I said to myself, the next time I try, I have to make sure I get it. Okay. So don't worry. We all face it. Okay, we learn from experiences. Okay. Okay. Any other things? Any other questions?
Also ask that inter-university team members, does it really count?
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. Yes, of course it does. And you can even have colleagues from universities abroad, foreign universities joining in. Seriously, you can. Okay, right.
Dr. Adrina, I have question for you.
Oh yes, please, Dr. Amelia, please.
Last question.
Okay, sure.
Doctor, you mentioned about the principal investigators and also co-researchers in the teams, right? Right.
Yeah.
Is there any maximum numbers of co-researchers, right, for FRGS? Any maximum number of co-researchers, or we can include anyone, or how, Doctor?
Okay, thank you so much for bringing that up. That's one thing I forgot to inform. For FRGS, okay, the maximum number of the team members. The maximum number of the team members, 5.
5. Okay.
Yes. So that is why, brothers and sisters, it's very important for you to make sure that you get the right people in your team. People who would be with you through thick and thin, but not till death do us apart. Not like that, okay? But who will be with you all the way through for 2 years or 3 years, okay? And who will be willing to assist. I think that's the most important thing. Okay? All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just want to clarify that from her again. Does it mean 5 extra plus the PI, or 4 plus the PI making 5?
4 plus 1 PI. 5 in a team. 5 in a team, including the PI.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Adlina. Okay, I think we have come to the end of the sessions, right? Doctor, on behalf of the organizers, I would like to extend my appreciations. We would like to extend our appreciations to you, to our respected speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Adlina, for her willingness to share many useful inputs regarding the research and research grant today. Okay. Not to forget to all of you, brother and sister, for taking time to attend these knowledge sharing sessions, right? My sincere apologies for any mistake during the sessions, and I hope to meet all of you again, inshallah. And then before we end our session, okay, I would like to seek cooperations to all of you, perhaps to open your camera so that we can take a picture together. Is it okay? Alright. Okay. Dr. Ainun, I need to adjust my screen. Alright. Wait. Wait. I want to make sure that everybody in the screen. But then okay, right. Dr. Ainun, you may need to adjust the all the participant.
It's okay. You can just take a few. You cannot have all in one screen if you have more than. So you have to. You have to scroll. Then you will get.
Alright. Okay, Dr. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much, and please have a great day. Okay, we end the session with Tasbih Karafah and Surah Al-As.
Thank you very
All
much,
the
Dr.
best.
Lina.
You're most
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
Dr. Adlina.
And all the best to all of you, okay? I hope the talk has been beneficial and motivating as well, all right? Inshallah. I hope. I wish I can spread the fire. Okay? Right. So all the best, everyone. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.